Hello and welcome to another episode of What to Pick. This is the video series where I go over a few different starting hands and explain what I would pick and why. And starting hand number one is the decision between Helion and Valley Trust. Usually I like to go Valley Trust because it's my favorite corp. Sadly we're not on Elysium where Allied Bank and Business Empire would be an instant specialist. If we have an eccentric card, I'm inclined to go for Allied Bank plus eccentric sponsor. Generally, I like Allied Bank more than eccentric sponsor, than Business Empire, especially for corps that don't have that much starting capital. So let's see if we have a card for eccentric sponsor. We don't. We have one expensive card, Demos down, but we don't want to play that immediately. Nitrogen shipment is really subpar, so I guess it's these two. But the starting hand didn't look bad, so Viral Enhancers is always a keep. It's one of the best cards in the game, and with Valley Trust it's even a bit discounted. There's Power Plant, cheap, solid power prod. You'd probably always keep this in your starting hand, except if you desperately need to cut cards to save on money. Demos down is an obvious keep. You could think about keeping either of power plant or fuel generators because both are really good cheap power prod options, but you can honestly just keep both. Cartel is pretty good, especially if we're going Allied Bank and Business Empire, and don't forget Valley Trust also has an Earth tech. So Cartel is basically 4 prod for 8 MC. That's really good. You just play that Gen 1. Virus is good. I'd probably always keep that in the starting hand, especially in 2P. We're playing on Tharsis. You could think about keeping birds. Definitely the better one of the two 1-point animals. A 1-point animal is useful if you draw into stuff like hydrogen, nitrogen, or large convoy. And with livestock already out as well, other than birds, there's just one more 1-point animal or two predators as well. But that so predators and fish, and that could lead you to the situation where you just don't want to skip on an easy keep, which is birds in the starting hand. And the thing is, there's not that much to play, because you start with 37 as Valley Trust. You lose 3 MC net between Allied Bank and Business Empire, so you start with 34. If you keep 7 cards, you still have 13 left, which is easily enough to play Cartel. And there's nothing really else to play on the starting hand. Viral Enhancers is not a card that you play immediately. You keep that in hand for as long as you need, for as long as you can, because at some point you have to play it just before your first screen tag, basically. Demos down is not a card you play immediately. You wait for either a lot of plants you can destroy or for a bonus bump you can get with it. Power plant and fuel generators, you don't play that. You don't want to be susceptible to tapping. You keep them on your hand to find power hungry cards. Birds and virus obviously are also not cards that you play immediately. So the only card you want to play immediately is Cartel, and you have enough money, even if you keep 7 cards. So I'm inclined to keep birds. And there's no heat prod on the starting hand. There's not even a single card that gets unlocked on the heat track. So there's literally no upside in picking Helion. We don't need the higher starting capital. And the ability is useless in this case. And because we're playing Valley Trust, let's see which prelude we get for free. Okay, AI picked Phobolog, Human My Contractor, and Huge Asteroid. Kept only 2 cards, that's interesting. Or 1 card, because they draw 1. Game message / forced action Valley Trust. I guess there's a little bit, there's a few bugs in the game at the moment. All right, Polar Industries Galilean Mining Loan. Loan is atrocious. I'll probably never keep that. And Galilean mining really isn't a great prelude either. I'd probably go Polar Industries here and put that on cards. We don't need plants at the moment, and we don't need minerals at the moment. Let's just get the 2 cards. Industrial Center and Convoy. Both are fine draws, not super amazing, but also not that bad. So yeah, you basically just play Cartel. You have an insane amount of MC prod at the end of the first gen, 14 MC prod, plus 2 heat prod and a TR. That's a really, really great start for Valley Trust. Now what you're looking for is card draw. And then you will have a great game. But yeah, that was hand number 1. I think really easy decision, or really easy decisions, plural, and a pretty great start. So yeah, let's hop straight into hand number 2. Okay, hand number 2. Credicor versus Cheung Mars, and this time we're playing with Venus next. The last game was only Prelude, and we're playing on Hellas. These are both amazing co-ops. There's no builder on Hellas, but contractor, which makes Cheung Mars quite good. I don't know which one I like more in a vacuum. Probably Cheung. Maybe Credicor. It's a toss-up, but the starting hand will help us decide. We have one absolute atrocious prelude and then 3 good ones. If we're going Credicor, on the one hand, acquired space agency is not needed because it adds a lot of starting capital, and Credicor already has a lot of starting capital. But drawing 2 potentially expensive space events that have a high impact is great with Credicor. Metals Company is just a great development prelude. Basically the equivalent of 6 MC prod without a drawback. Then Research Network can be really handy if you need tags for stuff like AI or NRA. In a vacuum, maybe go for these 2, but also on Hellas, the wild tag immensely helps immensely with Rim Settler. So Research Network could be relevant for that. Oh wow, okay. I guess I'd probably go that way. And probably go Credicor. So what did I see here that I wanted to go for this? Basically, I saw Beam from a Thorium Asteroid, which is an amazing Gen 1 play if you can afford it and if you can actually play it Gen 1. But it requires a Jovian tag. And it's even better on this map because of Rim Settler. So this wild tag is really, really useful. It helps with Rim Settler, as I alluded to earlier, and it helps us play Beam from a Thorium Asteroid, which basically guarantees Rim Settler. If the opponent pushes the milestone, we can even play TG for 3 TR to secure it. But we'd rather not, we'd rather find, we don't even need to. We can just play Research Coordination and get Rim Settler that way. And the cool thing is we have the one Jovian multiplier on hand on which wild tags actually work. So the 2 wild tags we get from Research Coordination and Research Network, they are actually not only useful for the milestone, but also for Terraform Ganymede, which is amazing. So this is a really great start for Credicor. Also, you get the DMC back on Beam. Obviously, you keep Comet, great card, and great for Credicor especially. But the rest, honestly, doesn't look great. And this really isn't like a great Cheung hand because there's no playable building text, basically. The one you have on hand is not playable in the early game. It requires 2 cities kind of next to each other. That's not going to happen really early on. Breeding filters, not relevant for a starting hand, really. Maxwell Base, great Venus combo card, but there's nothing else on the hand that pushes us in this direction, so not great. No floaters on the starting hand, so Aerosport Tournament doesn't make sense as well. Lunar Beam, you could think about it because it gets you really close to Energizer. So you basically have 5 power prod if you also play Lunar Beam. The cool thing here also ASA, obviously, that's why I kept that instead of Metals Company. The 6 titanium can immediately be used for Beam, so that's also really nice. I'll probably keep Lunar Beam here. We also draw 2 cards. that could push us into a direction. Maybe we find like SWP and then we can get Energizer immediately. Cloud Seeding is not fantastic. I probably won't keep that. So if we go for Credicor, 57 MC, minus 15 is 42, so easily enough to play Beam. Also, we don't have 42, we have actually 60 because of ASA giving us 6 more titanium. So we have 28 left after Beam. That would be enough to play Lunar Beam. You don't need to play Research Coordination immediately. You can wait to Gen 2 or even Gen 3 to play it and then claim Rim Settler, and there's no rush to play it. There's probably no rush to play Gen 1. The opponent could be set on systems with like higher research outpost and Galilean mining or something like that. And then you would need to play it as soon as you can so you can secure the milestone. But yeah, I think I'd probably go with these 5 cards. I pick Credicor here over Shing because of the fact that we have a few expensive cards, but no building tax. Yeah, great Jovian start. We're looking for card draw. We're looking for Titanium Prod. Maybe we get Titanium Prod with ASA. Maybe we draw into Vesta or Asteroid Mining. That would be great. But yeah, lovely start for Credicor. Let's get to the last hand. All right, hand number 3. And this time we're playing without Venus Next. But with all of the promo content, and we're playing on Elysium. So let's see whether it's Valley Trust or Pharmacy Union. Obviously, Valley Trust, one of my favorite corps. Pharmacy Union can really backfire sometimes. If your opponents, especially in higher player counts, this again is a 2-player game, but in higher player counts, it's very possible that a lot of your opponents suddenly play a few microbe tags. You lose a lot of money. You're never going to recoup that by playing a lot of science tags in a higher player count game. In 2P, you will control more of the cards that get played. Basically, you roughly play half of the cards. In 3P, you only roughly play a third of the cards, so you don't control as many cards that come down. In 2P, you control more of them. The game goes longer, so playing science tags is better. Basically, Pharmacy Union is at its best in 2P, but still, it can sometimes be really frustrating if your opponent plays a lot of microbe tags early. And if you don't start with any science tags, I would shy away from Pharmacy Union. But let's see what we have here first. Okay, it could be like a really interesting start with like Biolab and Eco Experts. But Self-Sufficient Settlement definitely has its upside as well on Elysium with the 3 plant or a 3 card spot. Usually, especially if we find a good plant producing card with Eco Experts, I'd definitely go for this spot because I want to convert around it. I don't want to convert around this card spot. But let's see what we get. I mean, you could like Eco Experts into livestock, but it's not that great. You basically eat your own plant prod, so you start just with a point per gen and 2 MC prod, and pay. Also, you get 2 great tags, 3 actually after livestock, but you pay 16 for that. That's quite expensive. And sadly, the plant producer that you have here on hand, Nitromoss, isn't that great. You could get it down. You could play Self-Sufficient Settlement first, get some plants, then play Eco Experts into Nitromoss. But that's not a great start. I'd probably shy away from Eco Experts, although it is really good here with Ecologist. Probably I'd go for Biolab here. But would we go for Pharmacy Union here? Probably not. It's too little science tags, or too few science tags. We have 1 on Biolab and we draw 1 with Pharmacy Union. But that 1 that you draw could easily be not playable, and you need 3 to flip your core. So I'd probably go with Valley Trust here. you could absolutely play it risky and hope to draw into something with Biolab that you can then play with Eco Experts. And if you don't find anything, you can still play Livestock and push Ecologist really hard. But I'd rather not do that. I'd rather go for these two preludes. Definitely get Protected Tabs, Nitromoss, Fish, and Ecozone. And still with this start, you have a good shot on Ecologist because you have Ecological Zone and Nitromoss, which both can come down rather early and provide you with 3 tags already. Other than that, the starting hand doesn't look too great. Like this Asteroid Mining is a bait. It's really hard to get that down with a Valley Trust, and it doesn't fit with the rest of the hand. Gene Repair, we don't have enough science tags to get it down. Even with the discount, I wouldn't pick it up here. Crop Resort, not a card you want to play early on. Carbonate Processing, we sadly don't have any Power Prod. Probably wouldn't keep it because of that. Instead, I'd probably keep Import of Advanced GHG, which is at least playable, and it's a fine heat producer. So yeah, I'd probably keep Valley Trust, go with these 2 preludes, which are both not amazing, but okay, and put the city on the 3 plants. But again, it's a Valley Trust hand, so let's at least see which 3rd prelude we get. An opponent is playing UNMI. We're not first player, so we're not guaranteed this spot. He could have put early settlement there, but let's do that. Honestly, you should have we should have played Biolab first, looked at the cards, and maybe that could have influenced our decision where to put the city. But it's unlikely. Let's see what we get. There goes Arctic Algae. That's a really great start. That's, wow, okay, that's definitely the wrong order, but that's an amazing start from Unimai. Okay, these are also not that great. Now I wish we had Carbonate Processing, because then we could play Martian Industries into it. Do we have an expensive card? Like, if we knew we would get Eccentric Sponsor, obviously we would have kept Asteroid Mining, but we didn't. If this was one of our original 4 preludes, I would have kept Asteroid Mining. You could go for Biosphere Support and push Ecologist with it. Because we don't have a power-hungry card, I really hate that we can't view game state here. Because we don't have a power-hungry card, I think we don't have to go for Martian Industries. Honestly, think we can go for Biosphere Support here. Combos well with the plant prod we already have. Think there's a bug here because we can't play anything. But it's fine, you could skip. The cards we drew are honestly trash. Like, we drew with Biolab, 3 cards. We drew Equatorial Magnetizer, which is just overall bad. We drew Ironworks, which can be fine, but we don't have any power prod, then it's super bad. An Extreme Cold Fungus is okay, but we don't have a microbe card. Basically, what I'd do here, if it wasn't bugged, I would play Protected Tabs, skip. When it comes back, I play Import of Advanced GHG, and then end the gen there. Biosphere Support, another reason why it's good here is because we have Protected Tabs. So the plant prod we get out of it is actually going to be useful. And we can get a greenery down relatively early on. That will allow us to play Ecological Zone. Then we are already at 3 tags. And then we can play either Nitromoss or ECF to get to the 4th tag and secure Ecologist. Although it's going to be hard, he's already at 3 tags as well. Arctic Algae, the Wild Tag, and Viral Enhancers. Maybe he will win that. So yeah. Not a great start, I have to say. Protected Tabs really is the saving grace here. Plus the plant prod we got. Plant prod, a little bit of heat prod. You're looking for more heat prod, definitely. But it's okay. So yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of What to Pick. Definitely let me know in the comments whether you agreed with my choices, or if not, then let me know what else you would have picked. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I hope I see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys, and goodbye.